Welcome back to the second segment of the Tax Time Show. In today's episode, we are talking about how to open a company in the USA for the foreigners. What are the rules? What are the pros? What are the cons? And how does it work for a person or a company based outside the USA? How can they open a company in the USA and do the business? It can be done, but there are some loopholes attached to it. Now, during the show, anytime if you have any question, viewers, please make a note of our email ID, which is texttime@tvasiausa.com. texttime@tvasiausa.com. When it comes to taxes, no question is a silly question, and Mr. Ajay Kumar of Sai CPA Services will personally reach out to you and answer any of your question. texttime@tvasiausa.com. Before the break, you said two entities are allowed, which is C Corporation and LLC.
Yep.
Understood. Other three entities are not allowed. Quickly, just give
Sure,
your
absolutely.
comments, your suggestion. Why are they not allowed?
So if you look at it without going into further technical details, proprietorship, the taxes for the business are filed together with the personal taxes.
Yes.
The business does not have a separate tax return.
Got it.
Now for a foreigner, how do I force the foreigner to file the personal tax in US? The foreigners typically, even when they own a business, they are not mandated to file their personal tax.
Because they are not resident of US.
They are not resident over here. They are not citizen. They don't have the green card. Since I cannot force them to file their taxes in US, how do I make sure the business tax is filed together with the personal taxes?
Valid point.
So the proprietorship is out of question.
Yes.
If you think about the partnership along the same lines, partnership means you have more than one person, one partner responsible for this business. So if there is a problem with the business, who do I go behind? Do I have the right to go behind one partner who is locally over here? Or do I have to go behind only their fair share? Let's say you are 5% owner in a company and somebody else in India is 95% owner. Now, are you going to be responsible for the 100% of the total of the company?
That's going to be a headache.
That can be a problem.
Big headache.
That's why the proprietorship partnership S Corp, small corporation, is a flow-through entity that was initiated. S Corp wasn't there right from the beginning. In the earlier days, we used to have proprietorship, LLC, and C Corp. S Corp was a structure that was brought in to give the benefit of LLC and the C Corporation. It provides the shield, it provides the legal protection of the C Corporation, and yet the flow-through benefit of the LLC. It was a new structure that was given out by the IRS, by the Treasury. It came with a limitation. So any benefit that you give to the general public, Sanjeev ji, IRS loses some money.
True.
In order to give the benefit, you have to give in some money. At that time, it was decided that the S Corporation will only be allowed for the US citizens, US green card holder, in general US residents. The foreign owners, foreign ownership will not be allowed in an S Corporation. That's how we are left with LLC and the C Corporation.
Before we go any further, I just have one question.
Please.
C Corporation and LLC, they are left with these two options. Do they have to come up with extra capital, or they have to make sure that they are investing some X amount of money into this country and in the company to start a business?
Wonderful question, Sanjeev ji. It's one question that we are asked in every single webinar, every single podcast when we talk about the foreign investment, foreign companies starting in US. The good thing is, to start the business, we don't need to check your credibility. We don't need to check your credit history. We don't need to know how much money you have, for how many years you have been filing your Indian taxes. We don't need to know all of it. We don't really need to have certain investment in the company. You can start a US based company with absolutely zero investment. Depending on the type of company you have, you may have to decide yourself how much working capital you need. If you want to open a bank account, you may have to justify your credit worthiness. If you are looking for a credit card, if you are looking for a line of credit, if you are looking for a loan over here, for all that matter, you may have to justify that you're credit worthy. You have been filing your taxes, you have so much money, but in order to start the business, the first step we are talking about, you don't really need to have any money, you don't need to invest any fixed amount of money in US.
That, I think you have cleared that myth, you have cleared the confusion among many people. Now let's look into the advantages and disadvantages of C corporation for a foreigner to start a company.
Not only will discuss the advantage and disadvantage or the pros and cons, will also help our viewers decide what type of company is best suited for what type of structure.
Good point.
Right? So in an LLC, which is a flow-through entity, if you're expecting the business to be losing money, or if you're expecting a structure where you'll be investing money in the beginning, LLC may be your best bet. LLC is a flow-through entity, or if you are in a situation when you want to be visiting US or you're expecting your green card or citizenship in the near future, LLC may be a better option. If you have a company where you are thinking that you may be sued, or you will be using public funding, or you will be going to public, meaning your company will be listed on Security Exchange Commission, for all those type of structure, C Corp is a better structure. So the difference here, Sanjeev ji, LLC is a flow-through entity.
Yes.
The loss, the gain flows through the personal taxes. C Corp, the loss, the gains stays there. For a C Corp, you don't have to file your personal taxes. You pay whatever income you had in the C corporation, you pay your taxes on that income, and you are not mandated, you are not required to file your personal individual income tax return in this country, as long as you are not taking distribution, as long as you are not taking money for yourself. And even in those cases, you can decide to pay the taxes at the source. So in a C corporation is sort of much easier, less paperwork, less hassle type of structure over here. So for example, IT companies will prefer a C Corp kind of structure. For all website selling type of companies will prefer C Corp type of structure. If you have an investment company, if you are trying to form a company so you can invest into US businesses as a subsidiary, as passively, say a couple of people in India are coming together, everybody is bringing in some money so they can buy properties in US, or they can invest into other companies in US. That's an LLC type of preferred structure.
Understood. Very well explained. One quick question before we go into the break. Regardless of C corporation or LLC, whatever the foreigner decides to set up as a company here to do business in US, do they have to travel to US before that or during the companies in the process?
It's not mandatory. You don't have to be here in order to start the business in US. You can. There's no such requirement. You don't have a paper that you have to physically sign. All paperwork formalities can be done remotely. So you don't have to be here in order to start your business.
This is all very interesting, and I'm sure viewers that we actually have a lot more coming your way right after this messages. Please stay with us.